It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today on a Monday. It is a Metal Monday. We are starting the week out right with some metal music, y'all. I've got my Metal Monday shirt on. Metal makes Mondays better. It's available in the merch store. One of our best-selling designs, by the way. I love it when Monday comes around. And that's a weird thing to say because normally when Monday comes around, we get a case of the Mondays, right? But for me, when Monday comes around, I get to dive into some heavy sounds. And today we get heavy devy sounds. It's been a while since we heard from Devin Townsend on the channel, friends, and I'm happy to share some new music from Devin with y'all today. So I was made aware of Devin's music early on when I was working here as the Daily Doug in 2021. I did not know his work previously, but my first reaction to his music was a live performance of a song called Kingdom, and I never looked back. I was floored by the wall of sound, the voice, everything. It was just phenomenal. I have gone on to hear several songs from Devin, and here's the thing, y'all. When I listen to his music, I've heard some of the most beautiful and uplifting sounds that I've ever heard come from him. And I've also heard the most heartbreaking and soul-crushing sounds that I've ever heard come from him. He's got a musical and artistic range that is almost unrivaled in modern metal and hard rock music. He, in a way, reminds me of Frank Zappa a little bit. Um, Here's where I'm drawing similarities. They both are prolific, genius talents. They are people who are full of intrigue. They are people who are complex, who are intelligent, who think about the world. And they are people whose musical output is done entirely on their own terms. They are free thinkers and they are just true artists in that point of view, in that milieu. So it reminds me of the visceral nature of hearing Frank Zappa's music whenever I come back to Devin in that way. And I was fortunate to get to see Devin perform a few years ago as part of the Dream Sonic tour. What a tour that was, y'all. It was headlined by Dream Theater, and Devin and Animals as Leaders were also performing on the show. I had the opportunity to sit relatively close up and witness Devin doing his thing. It was one of my favorite concert experiences. The guy is incredible, friends. So for the past several days, y'all, I have been hearing quite a bit from folks in our community about Devin's recent announcement that he is releasing a new album this year. And it's one that apparently has been very highly expected for a long time. It's called The Moth, and this will be a 23, maybe even 24, I'm not sure, song epic album from Devin. And as I read, it's going to be full of Devin's uh, normal metal and rock sensibilities, but he's bringing in orchestral sounds, some choral sounds, some theatricality, and apparently he's been working on this project for most of a decade. Most of a decade. And Devin has said that the story that will be told in The Moth will loosely follow someone who realizes that the old patterns of behavior are no longer serving them. And it's going to reveal a story of transformation as we focus on the human experience from birth to death. And I just can't wait to see what Devin's going to bring. I'm really excited about this. Last March, y'all, Devin gave a live concert in the Netherlands, and it featured music from this upcoming album. For some reason, it just wasn't quite on my radar, and I never got a chance to watch it or tune in. But even though that stream remained available for a few months, and I never got a chance to see it, but now I'm really interested because the album is going to be coming out in May 29th of 2026, and there is some concert footage from that live concert last year that reveals some of the songs, and we can at least hear them live before we hear them on the album. So here's what I have for you today, friends. I'm going to listen to two songs, and the first one is going to be called Enter the City. The other one is going to be called Lexin. And this first one, Enter the City, this is the brand new single that he did release about 5 or 6 days ago. And it's not very long, friends. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and grab one of the live tracks from last year's concert to fill out today's episode. So let's start with Enter the City. It's a song that's going to appear relatively early on the album, and it's only about 3 minutes. So I've got the official video here. Let's see what it's about. It is Enter the City, and it's from Devin Townsend. Here we go. Have no idea what I'm going to be in for. He's even got a compelling presence. Do, ti, la, or me, re, do. Fascinating. Up a half step. Bum, bum. Back down. Bum, bum. The sound is epic, y'all. So that's minor 1, wherever they are now. Major. Something's gonna happen. Woo. It doesn't even feel like a song. It feels like a trailer. You know what I mean? It feels like a trailer for something cinematic. That's amazing. y'all. And what are they saying here? An awful lot's depending on the weather. Okay. Rose and Rose are calling. We will not pave the way for progress. Huh. An awful lot depending on the weather, an awful lot depending on this. So we die, all we are, no way, please, it doesn't matter anymore, it doesn't matter, please. That's the end of the lyrics. Maybe this is the part where our protagonist, their understanding of what has been conventional wisdom is starting to break down. And they're like, it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. And I need to figure out something else. Maybe that's the angst, the lack of a kind of a foundation to kind of live from, you know. It was kind of proggy in that way because it kept shifting around and around, and even within a 3-minute little track, it was in a couple of different key areas and doing some really interesting stuff. And the sound of it is just enormous. It contains multitudes. It's got enough room for all of that heavy rock and roll sound with all of the instruments and the orchestra built in, and what sounds like a huge choir. I'm in, Devin. I'm really in. So the other one that I want to take a look at is called Lexin, Lexin. And this is one of the live cuts that I found from that concert last year. And this is another song that comes relatively early on in the track list as I found it, after the one that we just heard, but before we get, halfway to our goal. So if it's in an act sort of thing, maybe it's the first act that we hear this. And Lexon is described as some sort of a muse or an inspirational or like ethereal character who is going to help out our protagonist along their journey. And this one is one that I don't even have lyrics for because they have not been transcribed, because this is a track that is not yet officially released, but we do have this live recording from last year, and I'm eager to hear it with y'all and to share it with y'all now. It is Lexon, and it's from the Moth from Devin Townsend. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'd like to introduce you to a new character in our world. This little pink amphibian, a metaphor for the creative spirit.
A metaphor for the
I'd like
creative
to introduce you
spirit.
to my new friend Lexin.
Okay.
She's adorable.
Ready? That's the thing that I saw in the other video. Creepy a little bit. Rips and the flutes. Rejoice. And now. Lydian move over the top of that chord. And then a Mixolydian move underneath it. 7. 4-1. Nice. Say my name. Every one of those choristers has a mic. Wow. Okay. Flat 6, flat 7, major 1. It's an arrival point, but it's not the end. You can tell that it's going to go right on. So it's going to be a concept album. Okay. Okay, y'all. Coming to an extended play lounge near you in the beginning of June once this is out. I want to listen to that. I want to listen to the whole damn thing, and I'm not even kidding. I love it when genres merge to create something new. It's really exciting. You know, it's got the heavy sounds that I associate with Devin, and some of those rhythms, it just feels, yeah, that feels like a Devin tune. The theatricality of it surprises me, just how overt it is. I'm thinking as I see this, this should be on a stage, not just them performing it. This should be staged as like a opera, musical, however you want to describe it. You know, uh, it's one of the most expensive ways to create art in the history of humanity. Opera, big stage productions like that, because not only do you have the musicians, you have to have the composer, you have to have the conductor, you have to have the actors and singers on stage, you have to have the set designers, you have to have it these days lighting, visual effects, maybe costuming, choreography, all of that, and it all builds in. It's why for hundreds of years, opera was the big way that humans, especially in Western Europe and in like classical music, express themselves when they really wanted to put forth kind of a magnum opus or a big time tentpole piece. They're going to say, okay, it's going to be on stage and it's going to be full of a whole bunch of different moving parts, and it's going to be a big project. This reminds me of a magnum opus type project for Devin. We apply that label to the works of famous artists or composers, particularly when they leave us a very large and important work of art, a project that comes to define them, you know, and their work at large. Examples throughout history. Well, on Patreon just recently, we've been looking at the B minor Mass of Johann Sebastian Bach. I mean, the passion settings are mountaintop pieces, but the B minor Mass is the B minor Mass. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Mozart's Requiem, Wagner's Ring Cycle, comes to mind. Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring, Gustav Holst, The Planets. Big time pieces. Rimsky-Korsakov with Scheherazade, Berlioz, Symphonie Fantastique, Dvorak, the New World Symphony, the Verdi Requiem, the Handel Messiah. I mean, when you think of Handel wrote a whole bunch of great stuff, but we think, oh, Handel Messiah. Yeah, that's his magnum opus. I have a feeling that even with everything that Devin has given us through the years, that this project may come to be his magnum opus. And I think that's why everybody seems to be so excited about it finally getting a release date here in May. I saw a short video where Devin was discussing this upcoming release, and he said that there's going to be several formats being prepared and made available. There's the standard CD. You can have a 2 CD edition. You can get a deluxe 3 CD and Blu-ray set that includes an Atmos and a high resolution studio mix. They also will have it on vinyl with a triple gatefold, the heavyweight audiophile 180 gram vinyl, including all the different colored vinyl options that kind of comes with buying vinyl these days. And so I don't know how I might get this. I might be looking into the vinyl myself. But friends, this is interesting, and I'm really excited for Devin. I think of him as a real one. You know what I mean? One of these folks who is not out for just BSing us. They're a real artist. They bring their own humanity. They're thinking hard about what they want to say. They're working hard about how they want to say it, and they're doing it without compromise. And I'm really looking forward to hearing The Moth from Devin Townsend. So consider this episode a little precursor to what will come in late May when we get the entire album. But for today, my friends, it's been really great to go through a couple of songs from The Moth. We got Enter the City and we got Lexin from last year's live recording, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to hear it. So thank you for hanging out with me on this somewhat interesting Metal Monday, not as huge and hard rocking as we might normally do, but Devin, he strikes me as a metal performer, and this is going to be, I think, another step in the evolution of what metal music and hard rock music can do in the hands of someone who's extremely talented and a genius at making it all work. Well, friends, it's been a fun Monday. I think we're off to a good start. We've been listening to music from Devin Townsend off of his brand new upcoming album called The Moth. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.